The reason you're always broke has nothing to do with how much you earn. You know that feeling when your paycheck hits and you watch your balance drop, not over weeks, but over days. You didn't buy anything expensive. You didn't go on a shopping spree. You didn't do anything. Obviously wrong, you blinked and the money was gone. And here's the part that really gets you. Your friend, the one who earns less than you, seems completely fine. They're not stressed about rent. They're not doing mental math at the grocery store. They're not lying awake wondering if they can afford a dentist visit. You earn more, they stress less. That makes no sense. Or does it? Here's what nobody tells you. Being broke isn't a money problem, it's a psychology problem. The system everyone around you is running was never designed to help you win. It was designed to keep you spending. Today, we're going to break that system apart, and I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside your brain every time the money disappears. Before we go further, here's how serious this actually is. Right now, nearly 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Not the unemployed, not people in poverty, people with steady jobs, regular paychecks and full-time careers, 60%. And here's the number that should stop you cold. The average person earning $75,000 a year has less financial security than someone earning $45,000. If that person understands one thing the higher earner doesn't, we'll get to that one thing. But first, my name is Maya. If you haven't met me yet, check the first video to understand where I'm coming from. But the short version is this: I'm not an expert. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm someone who learned all of this the hard way. I watched the same paycheck disappear every single month, asked the same questions, made the same mistakes, until something finally clicked. And now I can't stop thinking about it. What I share here isn't financial advice. It's money psychology, the behavior behind the numbers. Why people who know what they should do still don't do it. Why smart people repeat the same financial mistakes. Why traditional advice keeps failing the people who need it most. If you're tired of being told to cut your coffee and make a budget, and you actually want to understand what's going on, subscribe. Because that's exactly what we do here. Now, let's talk about your brain. Everyone keeps telling you the same things. Make a budget. Spend wisely. Save 20%. Stop eating out. You've heard it so many times you've lost count. You've probably tried it. Maybe it worked for a week. Maybe two. Then something happened. Your car broke down. You had a rough week. You gave in for a moment, and suddenly you were right back where you started. And then came the guilt. The quiet belief that you're just bad with money. That some people are wired differently, and you're not one of them. Here's where that advice gets it completely wrong. It treats being broke like a math problem. Income minus expenses equals savings. Simple equation. Simple fix. But being broke isn't a math problem. It's a brain state. When your paycheck is already spoken for before it even arrives, when every dollar has somewhere to go, your brain enters what researchers call scarcity mode. And in scarcity mode, your brain doesn't behave rationally. It can't. Research shows that financial stress consumes cognitive bandwidth, the same way a constant distraction would. People under financial pressure make worse decisions, not because they're less intelligent, but because their brain is already occupied, running survival calculations in the background, every single hour of every single day. So when someone tells you to just make a budget, they're asking someone whose brain is already overwhelmed to take on even more mental work. That's not advice, that's noise. The real question isn't how to spend less. The real question is, why does your brain keep making the same choices even when you know better? Here's what's actually happening inside your head. Your brain runs onto systems. One is slow, rational, and deliberate. This is the part that reads articles about saving money and nods along. The part that sets goals, makes plans, feels motivated on a Sunday night. The other system is fast, automatic, and emotional. This is the part that actually drives most of your financial decisions. And the uncomfortable truth is this: the fast system wins almost every time. When you're stressed and financial pressure creates constant low-level stress, your brain produces cortisol. Cortisol impairs a slow, rational system. It makes long-term thinking harder. It makes instant relief feel more appealing. That's why you know you shouldn't spend the money, and you spend it anyway. That's why the budget collapses after a bad week, because a bad week raises your cortisol, which weakens your rational brain, which makes the impulse purchase feel completely justified in the moment. You're not weak. You're not undisciplined. You're human, and your brain is doing exactly what it was built to do under stress. The system failed you, not the other way around. Here's something that will change how you see every purchase you make from this point forward. Everything you own costs money twice. The first cost is obvious, the price tag, the number on the receipt. The second cost is invisible, and it's often larger than the first. The second cost includes storage, maintenance, mental energy, and opportunity. That gym equipment sitting in the spare room takes up space. Space has a real cost in most cities. You're paying between $1 and $3 per square foot every month. An unused treadmill isn't free, it's a monthly expense disguised as a one-time purchase. The second cost also includes mental energy. Every object you own occupies a small piece of your attention. It needs to be cleaned, organized, thought about, and eventually dealt with. Research shows that visual clutter increases cortisol levels. Your possessions are literally stressing you out in ways you can't consciously measure. And then there's opportunity. Every dollar sitting in something you don't use is a dollar that isn't building anything for you. It's frozen, stuck, gone. When you add these hidden costs together, something uncomfortable becomes clear. Many of the things people buy to feel better about their finances are actually making things worse. The purchase that felt like progress was quietly creating an ongoing expense that never stops. This is why the people can earn completely different salaries and end up in exactly the same financial place. It's not about income, it's about the hidden costs of the system they're running. Here's the part nobody talks about. The reason most financial habits fail isn't willpower, it's identity. If you believe, deep down, that you're someone who's bad with money, every financial decision you make will quietly confirm that belief. You'll overspend and think, of course I did, that's just how I am. You'll miss a savings goal and think, I knew I couldn't stick to it. Your behavior follows your identity, not the other way around. This is why standard advice fails so consistently. Telling someone who believes they're bad with money to make a budget is like handing someone a map to a destination they don't believe they can reach. They'll follow it for a while, and then they'll find a reason to stop. The real shift, the one that changes behavior long-term, isn't a new rule. It's a new story. The story isn't I'm trying to save money. The story is I'm someone who understands how money actually works. Those two sentences produce completely different behavior. The first is a goal. The second is an identity. And identity is something your brain protects automatically, without effort, without willpower, without needing to feel motivated. When you become someone who understands money, not just someone trying to do better, your decisions start to align with that identity on their own. Someone reached out to me recently. They've been trying to save for 2 years. Budgets, apps, tracking spreadsheets, nothing held longer than a few weeks. They watched one video about the psychology behind spending, not about budgets, just about why the brain spends, and something shifted. 3 months later, they had their first $800 saved. Not because they found more money, because they stopped fighting their brain and started working with it. That's the difference between a math solution and a psychology solution. So what does working with your brain actually look like in practice? 3 things, simple. Uncomfortable at first, genuinely life-changing over time. First, make the right choice the easy choice. Your brain always follows the path of least resistance. This isn't a character flaw. It's how brains conserve energy. So stop trying to resist temptation and start removing it. Delete the shopping apps from your phone. Remove your saved card details from online stores. Unsubscribe from every promotional email. Create distance between the impulse and the action. Research consistently shows that a 24-hour waiting period eliminates the vast majority of impulse purchases. Not because people become more disciplined, because the emotional spike that triggered the desire fades within hours. If you don't act on it immediately, you don't need more willpower. You need more distance between the feeling and the decision. Second, separate your money before your brain sees it. Open a second account, a completely separate one. Give it a name that actually means something to you. The breathing room fund, the freedom account, whatever creates a feeling when you see it. Every time money comes in, any money from any source, move a fixed amount to that account first. Not what's left over, first. The amount matters less than the habit. Start small enough that it creates zero stress. The goal isn't the number, the goal is the automatic response. Money arrives, and before your brain can allocate it elsewhere, a portion is already gone. Once that response is established, the amount can grow. but the habit always comes first. Third, count what you own. This sounds strange, do it anyway. Pick one category: clothes, kitchen items, subscriptions. Count everything in that category. The act of counting forces awareness, and awareness changes behavior without requiring extra effort. When you know you own 43 shirts, buying another one feels different. The absurdity becomes visible in a way it never was before. Owning less isn't about deprivation. It's about recognizing that every object carries a hidden ongoing cost, and that reducing those costs creates breathing room that no extra income can replicate. Here's exactly what to do before this video ends. Step 1 right now. Open your phone and delete one shopping app. Just one. You can reinstall it anytime, but make it one step harder to spend impulsively today. Step 2 this week, open a second savings account. Give it a name that means something. Move whatever amount creates zero financial stress. The number is almost irrelevant, the habit is everything. Step 3 this month, pick one category and count what you own. Write the number down. Let it sit with you. 3 steps, none require more income, none require more willpower. All of them work with your brain instead of against it. Pause this video right now and delete that app. Before you keep watching, the hardest part of any new system is the very first action. Make it small enough that saying no feels impossible. You've been told your whole life that being broke is about what you earn. It isn't. It's about the system you're running, the habits your brain has automated without you ever realizing it, the identity you've been carrying without questioning whether it's actually true. You're not someone who's bad with money. You're someone who was handed the wrong system and never given the right one. That changes today. Not because you suddenly have more money, because you now understand something about your own brain that most people spend their entire lives never learning. And real understanding is always where change begins. People who build genuine financial stability don't get there because they earn more. They get there because they stopped fighting their psychology and started using it. That's the difference. It's always been the difference. Before you go, I have a question. What's the one money habit you tried that never worked? And looking back now, do you think it failed because of discipline? Or because of the wrong system? Leave your answer in the comments. I read everything, and the answers people leave on this channel are genuinely some of the most useful things here. If something shifted for you today, subscribe. Every video on this channel is built around one purpose: giving you information that changes how you think, not just what you do. And before you go, I have another video that takes everything we just covered significantly further. There's one specific piece of this puzzle that most people never reach, and once you see it, the way you think about financial security changes in a way that doesn't reverse. Watch it next, it's already there when you're ready.